Okay, great. So we're back at our spreadsheet and not too much has changed just yet. So I still have my organic report still listed here. I just changed the name to last month, which is there. And you'll see some errors within the spreadsheet. This is all going to make sense in a second. See, what we're going to be doing is reporting on month-over-month increase. So we need the previous reporting month, so which is October, and September as well, so we can make our subtraction and get our final total of visits and see if we've actually increased or decreased. So the first thing I need you to do is click on the Tools menu, go to the Script Editor, and I want you to copy and paste the code that's in the blog post at the very end of this script. So just after those last curly bracket, go ahead and paste that in there, and you should see two new functions. One is Dave's custom date function, another one is email Dave, and you can see here that I've got my email address in there, and you're just going to have to change it to your own to make sure it emails to you. Go ahead and click on Save or Control S to save it, and what we want to do is run the GA auto date function so that all the formulas work in the spreadsheet. Okay, ran that, and now we can see how all of our errors are gone. So what we want to do is create a new report. So we have October's numbers, and what we need is September's numbers. So there's a couple of different ways of doing it. I like to copy paste, but of course that means that you need to do a little bit more work with that. So query 1 can't be the same as query 1 over here. So it needs to be query 2 and the same as value 2. And down the sheet name, if you have the same sheet name as a previous report, it'll just overwrite. So this needs to be great. I know, that makes sense to me. You should probably name it something a little bit better. But we're pretty much ready to go here. The last thing we need to do is just make sure our start and end date are right. So here we have October again. We can go down to our cheat sheet that I've made for you. And so we want this, which is the first day 2 months ago and the last day 2 months ago. Go ahead and copy those, paste it, and away we go. And the beauty of this is that this will keep updating for you every single month. You never have to touch it again, and this is complete automation. So go ahead and click on the Google Analytics menu, click on Get Data, and we're going to be running our reports. Hopefully everything works. Great. And again, we can force the refresh if it's taking its time. And as you can see, we have our previous month and we also have the last month. So remember, last month is basically October, and the previous month, which is a really bad name for the sheet, is September numbers. So we can figure out what the increase and decrease was month over month. Right, so I've got a calculation sheet here, and what I've done is calculated month over month increase in organic, and it's really simple. I just took my visits from September and my visits from October, performed a quick calculation, and formatted the cell to look like a percentage. Now this is pretty weak considering the capabilities of the Magic script. So we're going to do something a little bit cooler. Go back to your GA config, and what I've done here is I've copy pasted yet another report. So again, just to drill this into your head, we're going to change the query. So it's query 3, value 2 becomes value 3, and sheet name is going to be all of 2013 organic by month. And I think you have a good idea what I'm going to do here. So first thing I'm going to do is change my start date. So it's 2013 01/01 for January 1st, and we're going to go directly to 2013 12 and 31st. So you see what Google Docs does, and this isn't actually acceptable for the Google Analytics API. So this is a way to fix that. And highlight both cells, go to Format, go to Number, and I think it's under More Formats here, and it's got to be year, month, day. So we're going to be looking for that, and it's the first one up top. Great, so that will do. The next thing we want to do is dimensions. We're going to clear a landing page path and use something called GA month. And what we're going to do is we're going to sort by GA month. And you'll see that I'm sorting by ascending order here, and you'll understand why. So we've got everything in order, great, and I'm going to click on the Google Google Analytics menu and click on Get Data. Great, so I've got my report for 2013 organic by month, and the reason why I used ascending order for GA month is because I wanted to start with January and not start with December. Obviously December is a higher number, so GA would have sorted from 12 down to 1. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've added this into my calculation sheet, and you'll see I've already done a few things here. So I've imported the data from that sheet, and if you can see here at the top, all I'm doing is copying and pasting from the 2013 organic by month sheet, but in Google Docs I have to specify that it's an array formula, and that way it's just one quick formula and it dumps out all the data between cells and columns. And here what I've done is just added my months by name, and I've performed a few calculations. I've left out January because it didn't want to do basically December 2012. But here we go, I've got all my calculations and I've got a nice pretty chart. This is much cooler, and this is actually something that you can send to your boss or to your client, and this is perfectly acceptable. The right numbers, and this is going to be automated in just a second. So the last part of our journey is just making sure that all the triggers are set up. We have a month over month increase report, so we wanted to make sure that it runs every month. So we're going to go ahead and click on the Tools menu, go into the Script Editor. Okay, once we're here, what we want to do is click on the Resources, and we want to click on All Your Triggers. Okay, so just to explain, onOpen basically refreshes all the formulas within the spreadsheet. We're going to need this. It's going to be very important. So add a new trigger. Get Data is what makes the magic script work. Okay, and we're going to select a time-driven event, and what we want to do is a month timer. Okay, and we want it to run on the first of every month, and let's say, yeah, midnight to 1 a.m. is fine. I'd probably go with about 2 to 3 a.m. or even 3 to 4 a.m. to allow Google Analytics to catch up on some of the reporting. You may even want to report on the second day. It's completely up to you. And then what we're going to do is mail me. So we're also going to make that time driven, and we're going to make that on a month timer, and we'll let it email me at about 5 a.m. Okay, and this is really, really important because our email is going to say go get the spreadsheet. So it's just going to contain a link letting me know that your report's ready and you need to go get it. But just to make sure all the calculations are correct, because we do have some formulas in there that need to be updated, and this is why we need to add a new trigger for onOpen. So that way just Google Docs refreshes all the formulas in the sheet, and we're going to make that time driven as well. We're making it a little bit later than the Get Data function. So again, month timer on the first of every month, and let's make it at about 6 to 7 a.m. I'm definitely not going to wake up before then. So that's it, and I'm going to click on Save. Great, so all our triggers are correct, and I'm just going to test the Mail Me function just to make sure it works. Okay, so I'm in my Gmail, and that was almost instant. I click on my email, and it tells me to go get my report. I'll open that back up. And here we go. Now, of course, this is going to be much, much different at the first of every month because everything is going to be automatically updated and you can spend more time at the pub. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and this spreadsheet will be available for you to copy, connect your GA account, and start reporting on month-over-month increases while you sleep.